Okay, well, apparently my device is charging, but the energy burned with the camera is higher than the amount that it's charging. So I don't know how much longer I have. I'm down to 20%. If I wasn't plugged in at all, I would tell you I have about a half hour left. But we'll see. We'll keep going. And so I decided I'm going to take the $2,000. I may regret this decision, but I want to get maybe to a tier 2 ship and get maybe a little bit better engines and things like that. So I think as this plays out, if the scoundrel ends up going into hate mode and stuff like that, I need to have better equipment to handle this. So I'm going to take the $2,000 and I'm going to try to score the fame points through other mechanisms and see how that works out for us. And I know there's a lot of ways to score. One of them is through wealth, but maybe through titles and things of that nature, we can get them that way. Okay, so I still have some more actions. So I'm going to go put my engine on and let's roll. And that's going to be a 6 for us because I get to add +3. And we got this gravity thing again. So I'm going to go, now I got to be really careful because if I go 1 and then 2 to here, I am going to get back on the slide. This is like Chutes and Ladders. So 1, I'm going to go here for 2 and roll a d6. Of course I roll a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. And guess what? It's going to happen. I'm doing a blind jump to this arrow here. This could be really deadly. So the arrow is coming out, and it is Kemplar. And that's what I say. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, and then I do get flung into there for 6. And remember, there is no planetary shield right now, so I don't have to take any penalty. So that part's good. Now, how much movement did I have? I think I had 6 from here, and I went 1, 2. So I actually have 4 movement left. Here's what's funny. I actually have some stuff here. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And I get an ice damage. So that I need to be on a planet to heal, which I am on a planet. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. I could try to use my shield to block it, but I'm okay with being on Kemplar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate my impulse drive and go here and actually sell my 1 purple cube I had. Now, if I sell to the market, the purple cube gets sold immediately and turns into an orange cube. So purple cube goes off, and then the orange cube shows up on the market. And of course, you can buy 2 orange cubes there. And I do have the ice damage, like I said. Ice damage automatically heals as long as I don't leave the planet. And I will use my last engine because I want to get myself to a point where I can leave the planet. The shields are going to be, the barrier is going to be gone for at least 1 more turn. So I'm going to go ahead and go, ooh, I actually have some more options. I can go here and try to spawn some more stuff, which I'm not sure I want to do because this is a planet for the merchant. And if I spawn other planets for the merchant, they'll end up over here, and that's not good. Although I can tell you right now that the next one is spawning in one of these 2 spots. So it's not like I'm going to get much choice in the matter. What do I want to do? First of all, I need to take my $1,000 for selling that H. And I'm going to go ahead and just stop here. And the idea is I'm going to just go 1, 2 onto here and take the little chutes and ladder this way and try to get this. That's what I'm going to shoot for. So I have $3,000. It's not quite enough to buy a new ship. So what do I want to do with that? Do I want to just hold on to it? Or do I want to buy more equipment. Now, if I bought more equipment, it would be things like this. That holds more cargo, and then that, of course, holds damage. That's an interesting idea to hold more damage, but that's going to cost me 1,000 of my 3. I can also buy a missile, which, you know, can pack a little bit of a punch. I can buy a blaster, you know, which will help me attack other ships. I can even buy a better engine. So now one of the things you have to be careful of with this particular ship is the Tetris pieces. So this engine, for example, will fit just fine. But eventually there's things like, and actually that engine, which costs 3,000, will fit just fine. This rolls a D12. And so what I can do, I can sell this for 1,000. Anything that costs 1,000 sells for 1,000. Everything else sells for half. So a $2,000 item will sell for 1,000. A $3,000 item also sells, I think, just for 1,000. I think you round down. So what I can do is I can actually slide this over and put that in, and now I have a D12 engine. Vroom, vroom. And then I can even put a damage on here to get +1 because of my Swamp Rat ability. That will cost 2,000 of my 3,000. It's really bizarre, but there's a part of me that really wants to do this. And it doesn't score me fame points, folks. That's the problem. Upgrading my ship does. I'm gonna do it. I'll sell this for 1,000, and that means I only have to pay 2,000 for this $3,000 engine. And it's credits, not dollars. I get it. Okay, so I'm gonna do that, and now I got Gucci engine mode here, and my turn's over. The ice melts, and we're good. So we now move to the NPC turn, and the Enforcer comes out. So the Enforcer is going to spawn right here next to me, and then we have to get out the Enforcer AI. There's 1, and there's 2. Okay, so we got the 1, 2, 3, 4 thing going on again. And where's the D8? Here we go. Here we go. I rolled a 7, so it's going to be corrupt. Uh-oh, that's not good. It's going to target the player if outlaw. Behavior, move to the target twice. If in range, player may pay 1,000 per ship. Tier 2 the Enforcer. If no payment, attack twice. But only if the player is an outlaw. It's an Enforcer that can be bribed. So he's going to go after me, but only if I'm an outlaw. So I need to avoid being an outlaw, and I'll be fine. But if I pay 1,000 per ship tier, which right now is I'm just tier 1, basically he doesn't fight for me, he just doesn't attack me. Otherwise he will attack me twice. So, okay, well that's his AI, and I think that's not very worrisome. We just have to avoid being an outlaw. So I think I can handle that. The other one's out. I think I like it better when the Enforcer goes after the scoundrel. All right. So we're done with that. End of round. Here we go. They get no bonus. And I rolled a 16 for them, so they just scored 2 more points. I mean, they do nothing and they're scoring points. I usually don't like games that do that, by the way. Okay, cold as ice. Repair your ship when ice damage fills at least half your ship's hold, including armor plating. I have 12 hold points, so I would need 6 ice damage. And then once per turn, I can remove 1 ice damage. The only reason I would do this is to claim the fame point, but let's just set that aside. It may happen to me naturally, and so we'll see. Okay. Oh, before the NPC went, I was supposed to draw a tile, and it's either here or here, and I'm going to go ahead and go here. And we're going to match this little circle. There we go, Smuggler's Den. I'm actually quite happy with that. So remember, this was supposed to happen before the NPCs took their turn. And the reason I'm saying that is not only does that happen, but for the first time in our 3 games, the sellsword is available. And the sellsword costs $1,000 to hire. And guess who's going to hire him? And this is a bounty planet to go onto, but I don't need to go there to hire him. And I don't know why this is here. Why did I move this? I've been moving the kiln the entire time. That's my ship. Okay. So now it's my turn. And the scoundrel's not yet out, but I'm going to hire this sellsword. And the sellsword, basically, he defends himself with a D12 shield, and he will kill 12 damage or higher on this. He takes 12 damage to get killed. I may use him to attack an adjacent ship for 2d6 blasters. If the sellsword is destroyed by me, or while it has no owner, no fame points or credits are awarded. And I can move 7 spaces per turn. Now, one thing I want to point out is with the solitaire rules, or with the expansion, the sellsword is modified in rules. I just got to figure out which rule set he's in. I think it's the solo rules. See, and this is getting back to, there's rules on the cards, there's rules in the rule book. It actually drives me a little batty. There is somewhere in here that says in a solitaire game, you get all the fame for a sellsword. Oh, why am I having so much trouble finding this? If the Enforcer or Scoundrel destroys a player's ship, immediately award the NPCs 1, 2, or 3, depending on your ship destroyed. Sellsword, right here. Any NPC ships destroyed by the sellsword will earn the player fame points and money, as if I had killed them, as if the player destroyed the ship themselves. But the bounty goes on the sellsword, not on me. If destroyed, the sellsword respawns at a random spot, but remains owned by the player. The sellsword always acts immediately after the player's turn, so I basically have control of it the entire game. It's so wonderful, and I can use it as like my little mercenary. This is the droid I was looking for, right here. Okay, so I think I'm really feeling good about this game. And here's what's even better. Remember our AI for the Enforcer? The Enforcer is corrupt, and he's only going after the player. So if my sellsword becomes an outlaw, he ignores it. So I don't even have to worry about the Enforcer going after him. And see, the Enforcer goes after outlaws with the bounty and blah, blah, blah. That means he would go after, because the sellsword's going to get a bounty if I start attacking the merchant ship and things like that. And guess what? We're going to attack the merchant ship. Anyways, I think our path is clear. So we got to take our damage. Damage is 5. That's a bit much. If I ever roll a 1, I'm going to put a crystal on my engine so I get an automatic +1. I'm greedy that way. But for this one, I am going to block it with the Enviro Shield so we take no damage. And so now we're going to put 1 on the engine. and we get to roll a D12, this yellow die, and I rolled a 1. Oh, this cosmic universe has a sense of humor. Okay, I spent all this money so I can roll a D12, and I rolled a 1. Well, here's the good news. I rolled a 1, but I get to add 2, and then 1 more, so I get a 4. And I think to hire this guy, I have to stop anyways. Let me make sure. I got to look at my actions here. If I want to hire somebody, I don't even know. Is that a minor action? Is it a... Oh boy. It says, as an action, a player adjacent to the sellsword may place 1,000 on this card and take the card from the current owner. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take my last $1,000, put it on the sellsword. I get 4 movement, but I'm just going to use 2 of it, right? I'm going to stop here. And as an action, I'm hiring him, okay? So he is now mine. And I think I might reveal this. I know I'm taking a big risk because if I get 2 planets next to each other, I'm in trouble. But I think I'm going to go ahead and do it. It just cost me 1 energy. I need things to do to score points here, and I got very lucky. Look at this. I did forget to say the symbol, so we'll do that one. And that means it lines up like this, which is perfect. All right. And I'm running out of table space, so I'm going to just shove this stuff down a little bit. Trust me, I have enough table space, but because of the way I'm doing this, I don't have enough. And then another explorer goes there. This is a lot of potential damage. I think the debris field can actually blow me up if I roll a 1 to a 3. This is asteroids, which would be pure straight up damage. But I like the fact that I can possibly get another one. We'll see. Okay, so I still have more actions to do. And like I was saying, there's nothing to do at the moment. My research needs to go to Pelmont, which has not yet come out. So I am going to roll the die and see if I can get this. So we're going to do another action on the engine here. And I rolled a 1 again. Oh my gosh. So I can go 1, 2, 3. And with the debris, if I roll a 1, 2, or 3, I die. And I rolled an 8. Thank goodness. I got a full energy recharge, which was only 1 point, but I'll take it. And I just want to make sure I didn't screw up. Yes, the debris was the 1 to 3 one. I now have 2 of these, so I can take 2,000, or do I take the fame point? I am losing 3 to nothing right now. If I keep taking the 2,000 and then spending it, I'm obviously not doing well for myself. I keep wanting to show you what it's like to upgrade your ship, but maybe I don't need to. So I'm going to take the fame point. I'm going to go ahead and take the fame point, and we're now on the board. Okay, so that was 1, 2, 3, right? I rolled a 1, and I get to add 3, so that's 4. So I could go here, but every time I go into these, I got to roll to see if I get destroyed. Do I really want to take that risk? Sure I do. And I rolled a 19. Oh, and then I'm going to go ahead and go here. Now, this one, if I roll 11 or better, I'm safe. If I roll 1 through 10, I take damage. And I rolled a 10. So I'm going to have to use one of my last action here, and I'm going to do my shield, which is only a D6. And I did roll a 6. I get to add +1 because of that. So I do block 7, but I take 3 damage. So that hurts. And by the way, this thing has 2 on it. That event's going to go away soon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the 2 damage on the engine here in the spots that don't actually have actions. So now I'm going to get a +2 to my engine. So those are wonderful. It's only this one that's annoying. Okay, so I only actually got 1 annoying damage. However, I am out of movement. So I do have an impulse drive left. So I'm going to flip this, and I got 5 movement points for doing this. And if I choose to do a scan right now, here, I am going to give up that 5 movement points. I think I want to do it because if I don't, I have to go through these fields again just to get out. So what I'm going to do is I'll use 2 of the movement to go here so I can scan here and there. So I'm going to spend 2 energy. And I know, yes, this is going to get the scoundrel out and possibly even the merchant. But I'm going to go ahead and do this one first. And we're going to match the shuffleboard here. And it's a gate. Oh, that's really sweet. So we got the shuffleboard lining up. If we get another gate, I can get a fame point. And then here we're going to line up the arrow. Oh, there we go. I can take that. So we got a nice void going on. So now if I want to move, I at least have somewhere to go, right? I'm not going to have to go through the asteroids or the debris field. Unfortunately, neither of these have exploration tokens. That's the part that stinks about it. Oh, what do I do? I still have an impulse drive. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll flip it, and I get an impulse of 3. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 like this. And then I'm going to spend another energy to reveal this one, which I'm okay with because it's very far away from Kepler. So there we go. We got Loth out now. And I forgot to say, so we're going to do the arrow or the circle thing here. So it's going to line up like this. And here's what sucks. Guess who's going to spawn right immediately next to me? Mr. Scoundrel here is. He does have a 2,000 bounty on him. And he won't spawn until after my turn is over. But Loth is now there. And there is an exploration token, which I will probably never go after. And that's our situation. Okay, so next, we're ending our turn, so we're going to do an expanse. And I'm going to do this one up here, because if I ever get a planet, I want it to be far away from Kepler, and it's not a planet. We're going to line up the T, and that would be this one. So that stunk. I was hoping it was going to be a planet, and we got another one of those ice comets out, like so. So let's figure out the AI here. 2, 4, 6, 8, just like before. I got a 2. It is a bully. He's going to target the player if I'm tier 1 or tier 2. So if I can get to tier 3, he stops targeting me. So that sucks. Okay, so it says spawn NPCs if needed, and now the sellsword gets to go first, and then the AIs would get to go. So what he's going to do is he's going to move to attack, and then if in range he attacks, if no damage dealt, he's going to attack again. So that's unfortunate because, as you know, we are right next to him. So he doesn't even have to move. And we don't have any ability to use shields right now. So he's going to get to put on some decent damage. And we're very far away from a planet. That's the other drawback. I was really actually hoping to get one near us here. So it's my turn, and I can take the sellsword through this and just take the chance that he's going to take some damage. So we're going to do that. And I rolled an 11, which means he took no damage. So that's 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the sellsword's going to attack the scoundrel. Okay, so the sellsword is 2d6, and the scoundrel is a d8 defense. Let me just make sure. Yeah, because we're using side B here. The scoundrel has d8 shields. All right, so we're going to roll this. And his shield's blocked 2. We did 4 damage here and 1 damage there. So we did 5 damage, 2 were blocked, the scoundrel just took 3 damage. And so that's decent. And now the scoundrel's going to go after me. Well, actually, the enforcer goes first, but he does nothing. And now the scoundrel goes, and he's going to definitely attack me. And he attacks me with 2 D12 blasters. This is very nasty. So I rolled a 7. I'm taking 7 damage, and 2 is 9 damage out of my 12. So let's look at our situation here. By the way, when I ended my turn, I would have gone 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. So I at least would have rearmed. Oh, I rearmed. So that means I get to roll some, I get to do shields. So I get to do at least 1 shield. I think I can do 2. But here's the thing. I think I was supposed to declare that before he rolled. It doesn't matter. A 2d12 roll, I'm declaring it. So I'm going to do 2 of them. So that's 3 and 4, because I get to add a +1 to each one. So that's 7. So he did what? 9 minus 7. He did 2 more damage to me. And his turn is over. He would attack again if he would have done no damage at all. So I am full up on damage here. If I take any more damage, it's going to start ruining my components. And I've already used 2 of my action discs for next turn, which means I'm not going to be able to block the environmental damage. That is something that's going to be a big problem. Why? I knew his tile was coming, so I just didn't think he was going to spawn right next to me. Okay, so I know I was bouncing back and forth and not doing things in the right turn order here, but I do think I got it all corrected, and now we're going to roll for them. They don't have any bonuses or anything yet. And I rolled a 14, which means they're going to score 1 point. So now they're up to 4, and a new event's coming out. By the way, this event is going away. The one that made all the planetary shields disappear, that event's gone. Okay, Derelict Hulk. Take a random unpurchased available tier 3 ship and spawn it. This ship cannot be purchased normally and is now the Hulk. When you take a move action, for each space you move, you may also move the Hulk 1 space as long as the Hulk is adjacent to your ship. Moving the Hulk costs you +1 movement per space. If you tow the Hulk into the kiln, immediately end your action phase and purchase it for free, regardless of your current ship. When the Hulk has been purchased, it goes away. So we got to figure out how to randomly do this. Here's the tier 3 ships. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. All right, so I'm going to roll a d8 and just ignore the 8. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the Nightshade. So the Nightshade lets us replicate some ability on another player's ship. You may now use the chosen ability as if it was your own. This is absolutely worthless for a solitaire game. Here we go. Here's the other ability. As an action, spend 2 energy to move your replication token to a space on an outfit in your ship. The space must not be damaged or a use space. The replication token acts as an additional use space for that outfit. You may not place mods on the replication token. If you move the replication token when it has damage or an arm marker on it, they move with it. So basically, I can use a replication token to make it so I have 4 actions on my engine instead of 3. Okay, that's a little bit better. So the Nightshade is a tier 3 ship that looks like this, and it's spawning next to me, and I can basically tow it alongside me for +1 movement per move. So basically every move is going to cost me 2 movement points. If I can get it all the way back to the kiln, which is way the bleep over there, I can get it for free. I don't know if it's worth it, folks, but we're going to see, because I'm going to start this next turn. And we have to roll for the environment damage. And I rolled a 5, which is not good. Okay, so the environment damage of 5, I don't even have any money. So I'm gonna, these are both gonna go down here. So they're disarmed, so 2 damage goes there. A 3rd damage goes on my +2, and then 2 more damage goes there. I'm 1 damage away from being destroyed. So I think you will agree with me that I can't be towing right now. I gotta get my ass to a planet. I can't tinker around. So for my action, I'm gonna have to leave the ship behind. It's not like it'll still be there for me some other day, right? But I gotta get out of there. And I think my best route is to go straight through this vortex here and head to the kiln instead of Kempler. Kempler is through all of this asteroid stuff, and then the entrance is way over here. And I don't want to get a bounty. I mean, I can go onto Loth, but I would get a bounty. So I'm going to use my only spot on the board, which is this, to roll. But here's the deal. My crystals give me a +1. So my GTS does get broken. So I don't get the +2 from the GTS anymore, but I do get 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to roll this and get actually a +5 because of my ability. So that's a 6 + 5. That's 11 movement points, and I'll take it. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And now I know I have to roll for this, so let's do that. And let's hope I don't get damaged. And of course I did. 6 energy. All right, so 6 energy damage means that this happens. I'm down to 0, and then I'm disarmed. I'm basically what's called stranded. But that's okay, because even when you're stranded, you can still use your impulse drive. And so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and dock. And boy, oh boy, did I need to dock. I'm going to dock on the mission space. So let's see if I can get a different mission. I still don't have the planets that the mission's looking for. So if I fly into an anomaly, which is... the chasm here is an anomaly. So the place that has the weird gravity, that's an anomaly. So is Farron's Call. So if I go into the mission space of an anomaly, which here stinks, that I would have to get a bounty for. But if I go into this one, over on Farron's Call, if I go into that space, I can put 3,000 coins on this card. And as long as I'm adjacent to an NPC, which could be the kiln, I will get that $3,000. I will take that quest. I'm going to get rid of my research quest and discard the other 2. And I'm happy with that. So I don't even have the $1,000 to heal. That's what blows about my situation. But I do get my 8 energy and my rearm. But I can't even heal. And so I'm going to take environmental damage next turn and blow up. So I'm not even sure I can sell a damaged component. I'd never thought about that before. Give me a second and see if I can sell a damaged component. You can only sell undamaged outfit for half its original cost. Rounded up, by the way. So tier 1 sells for 1,000, tier 2 for 1,000, and tier 3 for 2,000. So I can't even repair. Oh boy, folks. So my next turn is going to be a lost turn. I'm going to lose this game. I really am. And I'm getting rather upset now. Okay. So, okay. I should have probably tried to die on my own. Like, if that's the case, if I'm not even going to be able to repair, I should have just flown into an asteroid field or something and tried to die that way. It's too late now. I'm going to just roll with it. But man, oh man, okay, so we have to draw. We can draw one here. We can draw one way up there. I'm going to draw one here and watch it be the dang merchant thing. No, this is actually perfect. So we're going to do the circle, and it is a gate, which is going to help us immensely once we stop getting blown up from the environmental damage. Okay, so we got a gate now, so that means we can pop from here to there, and that means we can tow our ship a lot easier. So things are starting to look a little bit up, actually. Okay, so what do? I did that, and now it's NPC turn. Okay, we're gonna try to blow up the scoundrel. So scoundrel's gonna roll his shield. He rolls a 4. We roll twice. That's 6, so that's a net of 2. And then one more is 3 more damage on the scoundrel. Scoundrel's up to 6 damage. Scoundrel takes 15, by the way. And then the enforcer does nothing. And then the scoundrel's going to move 9 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He goes right through nebulas. They don't really harm him. And now we roll to see how many points they score. They don't get any bonus. But they got an 11, which is 1 point. So they're up to 5 points. They're halfway home. If I do get a tier 3 ship, I get a fame point for that because it's an upgrade to my ship. I'm wondering, I don't think I get 2 fame points. That's a weird situation because I'm going straight from a tier 1 to a tier 3. Do I get 2 fame points for that? Because you're supposed to get 1 for each upgrade in between. I'm going to assume I only get 1. All kinds of weird rules that come up when you're playing this, especially solitaire. Okay, so we're at the end of the turn. We move to our turn again, and we roll for this, and I mean, we're blown up. Boom, we blew up. So all of our damage is going to be wiped. The active mission actually gets removed. So this mission that we were hoping to do is gone, and there's nothing I can do about that. And yes, we healed all of our damage, and our turn is over. And then we have to roll to see where we spawn. This won't be till next turn, by the way, but we're going to spawn on 13. And 13 does exist. It's way the bleep down here. Now, just understand that I'm not actually on the board yet until next turn. But I just did that for sanity's sake. And our whole turn is over. We were able to do absolutely nothing because we blew up. The good news is the NPCs I don't think scored. It does say if the enforcer or scoundrel destroys the player's ship, they score points. But we don't get we don't give up any points for anything else. So I'm going to go ahead and take this guy, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we were able to catch up. And again, here's his shield. It's a 1. So we're going to get some good damage on him. There's 3. Plus 1 is 4. I'm sorry, just 3. Minus 1 is 2 is what I meant to say. And then 5. That's 7 more damage to him. So he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he's at 13 out of the 15 needed to destroy him. So here's the thing. If we destroy him, we do get 1 fame point and the 2,000 credits that's on his bounty. So that's the part about this that I'm getting a little excited about. Enforcer is going to do nothing, and he is going to do nothing because I'm nowhere on the board. So he has nowhere to go. Okay, so I forgot to do the expanse, so it's going to be this spot up here. And we're going to match this line. And we got, oh my gosh, the merchant still hasn't come out. So we're getting lucky and unlucky all at once. So we got another comet and another exploration token comes out, and off we go. Oh, we got a roll for them. If I would roll low, a 17 is 2 victory points for them, so they are now up to 7. So a new title came out. Destroy 2 enemy ships in 1 turn. I don't think I can do, excuse me, I don't think I can do that. And Galactic Jubilee. Players may travel to the kiln and receive credits 1 time as an action according to their position on the fame track. First place gets 1,000, second place gets 2,000, 3, 4, 5. Place a damage on this card at the end of the round. Immediately after all players receive their credits, or there are 3 damage on this card. So it's going to get a damage right now. And if I went there, I would get 2,000 credits. It's not bad. Okay, so lots to do, right? We're now starting up again. We need fame points, folks. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this ship and transport it to the kiln and then collect my money on top of that. So that's the plan. Let's take our environmental damage first, which is 4. And, oh, that's just a tad too much. So I'm going to put the Enviro Shield on, and then we're going to activate our engine. And I rolled a 12. I can only get to a 13, which I will take. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, that was 1 action. So now I'm going to do another action. I got another 13. So this is 2, this is 4, and then I have to spend a movement point to go through the gate. So this is 6, and I got a fame point for going through the gate. So I'm up to 2 now. Woo! We're at 2. They're at 7. At 6, 8, 10. I have no idea what the heck I'm supposed to do with the gravity. So I'm going to go ahead and say 12. And then we roll, and I got a 12. So I have no idea what that does to me. So 1, 2, 3, and then I have to roll for the d6. It's a 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I think that's what we do. But since I'm towing this guy, would that have been 2, 4, 6, and then this is 2, 4? I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I don't move as far in the gravity because there's 2 ships. Okay, so now I'm going to do my third action. We got to get out of this. So I'm going to go ahead and roll. 7, that's an 8, 9, 10. And the problem is I got this damn gravity. So this is 2, 4, 6. And that's going to move us 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to go 8 and then 10. Bing, bing, bing. We finally made it to the kiln. So I'm going to go ahead and into the kiln where the mission space is. And I'm going to get rid of Swamp Rat. And we're going to automatically upgrade to... oh, I'm moving around the merchant. I got to figure out what ship it is. But Swamp Rat's upgrading to the... I thought I had the correct ship. Oh, I did. It's right here. It's this guy. So we're upgrading to Nighthawk. And the cool thing is, or Nightshade, we do get to keep Swamp Rat's ability. So the damage stuff actually still gives us a +1. And then we have to pick the Nightshade ability. And I thought that there was There might have even been an asterisk in a rule book about Nightshade in the solitaire game. Because I think they figured out that Nightshade doesn't really do much. Because like assassin missions get special rules. So do trading. Nightshade got a new card, but I don't think it... Alright. So we got to do the one that lets us we don't get to duplicate an adjacent ship, so we're going to do the one that lets us add an extra action to one of our equipment. Okay, so we're back at the kiln. We've upgraded, so that means I'm going to have to take everything off. And this is bizarre because I'm upgrading before my turn is officially over. So I don't know how you do that. Do I have to end my turn there? Where was it that even gave us this? This was the Derelict Hulk. Yeah, immediately end your action phase. Okay, so I have to immediately end my action phase regardless of my ship. Okay, so this is out of the game. I get, oh, by the way, I get 2,000 credits because of this event here. And I'm going to go ahead and throw that event out of the game because the AI doesn't get any credits. So that event is resolved as well. And then let's get rid of Swamp Rat here. So this has now been used up. And we now have Nightshade, a tier 3. And I do get a fame point for that. So I'm up to 3 now. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then look at this, 16 energy. Oh my gosh. And now we have to figure out how to do this. So I think I'm going to do a configuration like that. Yeah, why not? Let's try that. And then I have these shields. I'll do that. So that leaves me with 5 spaces for other nefarious purposes. I did have to end my turn, so I can spend my 2,000. I don't need to upgrade my ship anymore. So I could buy like weapons and stuff. But if I start shooting at ships, I get a bounty, so I don't think I want to do that. I can buy more shields, like I can buy an upgraded shield. That might actually be worth it. So I'm actually going to spend my 2,000 and get the 1,000 credit for selling this and see if I can buy a level 3 shield. Let me see if I can do that. That might actually be overkill to buy a level 3 shield. And look at that, the Tetris is awful for a level 3 shield. I am not doing a level 3 shield. Let's try a level 2 shield. Level 2 shield is more doable. And so that means I still have 1,000 credits left. And remember, if I ever get 5,000 credits, I can buy fame points. So that's not necessarily the end of the world. And then this GTS, I'm going to actually jam in right here in that empty spot. Like that. Okay, so I still have 4 empty hull space. Not bad. I have a buttload of energy. And I had to immediately end my action phase, so I couldn't do a scan, which is what I really wanted to do. But my turn's over there. And this ship is now added to the list of out-of-the-game ships. Okay. We're going to go with our sellsword now. So we're going to try to destroy this Scoundrel. Scoundrel has a defense of 3. That's going to do 2 damage, which is enough to kill him. Don't even have to roll the second one. We did 15 damage to the Scoundrel, and the Scoundrel is destroyed. So here's the awesome sauce part of it. The Scoundrel we get credits that are on him, which is 2,000 because he starts with a 2,000 bounty. And if he ever kills an innocent ship, he gets another 1,000 bounty, which he didn't. So we're going to get a 2,000 bounty for this, and we get another fame point. So we actually have 3,000 now, and we're at 4 fame points. Now, the scoundrel is going to, his turn starts after the sellsword. So during his turn, he's going to spend his entire turn just spawning in, and that's it. Because he still loses a turn, per se. The enforcer still does nothing. And what we're going to do is we have the option when we destroy any of the NPC ships to make them choose a new AI. So I'm going to get rid of the bully. And let's roll again and see if he gets a different behavior. So I got a 4. So 2, 4. He's now an opportunist. Actually, hold on a second. The bully only goes after us if we were in a tier 1 or 2 ship. We're in a tier 3 ship. We want to keep bully. That was really stupid of me. So we're keeping bully, and now the scoundrel doesn't go after us at all. The enforcer is going to sit there. The scoundrel is going to sit there, and our sellsword is just going to go pummel the crap out of the sellsword. That's what we're going to do. Okay, so we get to do movement still. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're ready for the next turn. Before all those NPCs were taking their turn, we were supposed to spawn something. So I'm going to put, if you can see here, it's all 2-sided. And so I'm going to pick way up here. We're going to pick one, and let's see what we get. We're going to match this line, and we got a dead planet. So we match the line like so, and it does get 4 of those sifter tokens, and it's going to get an explore token as well. Okay, so now we're going to roll for the NPCs. If I roll low, they don't even score. I rolled an 8. They are going to score 1 point. They're up to 8 points. I'm nervous. It's now my turn, and I'm going to roll for my damage. And I rolled a 4. And I'm going to take the 4 damage because, as you know, it's going to give me a +1 on stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and take... and you know what? I need to rethink how I'm situated here. 2, 3, and then the 4th one would be like there. And here's what my issue is. I have enough spaces for 2 sifter tokens, but I don't have the Tetris for it. So with the shields the way they're configured, I'm probably better suited trying to see if I can fit these another way. For example, I should have done this. But even if I do that, this GTS thing screws things up. But actually that would have worked. So then I could have done a sifter there and a sifter there. But I have the damage, and technically speaking, I had to make that decision before I knew the dead planet was coming. So I technically have the older configuration, but it's okay. I took the 1 damage and we're going to be fine. So I got to score points, and I got to score points fast. So I'm going to spend 1 energy and scan here since I'm already there. So I'm going to be down to 15 energy, and we're going to line up the circle here. And it is another asteroid field with an explore token. So now I'm going to put something on my engine, and we're going to roll for the engine. And that's a 6. I get to add 2 for the GTS for 8, and then 2 more for my crystals for 10, and then 1 more for my campaign bonus for 11. So that's 11 movement. So I'm going to move, where's my ship? I was in the kiln, so I'm going to leave the kiln for 1. Then we're going to go here for 2 and pick this up. but now I got to roll for the asteroids. And I rolled a 4, which is going to be 4 damage. And I'm going to do the Enviro Shield thing to protect against that. So we're going to pick this up. And I got a helium or whatever cube. So that actually is going to clog up my hole as well. So I have a ton of movement points left, and as you know, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 like this, and I get this, which is a mission. It's a special kind of mission. So what's going to happen is I'm going to draw 1 card. Or no, do I draw 3? I think I may still draw 3. 1 second, please. Here, let me explain what it does first. I ignore everything on the card, and then I just look at the final destination. So the final destination that I have to go to is the player on my left, which is interesting because I don't know what to do in that situation. But basically, the captain is asking me to give him a ride. And so that's what this is. This progress token is a captain asking me to give him a ride. And I'm supposed to give him a ride to wherever the final destination is. So I guess it's to an NPC, which is actually a pretty sweet deal if that's how this is going to play out. This is a new type of mission that you get in the expansion. So just need to find the text that explains this. Captain in need. Draw the top mission card, just 1. Ignore everything else in the card. You earn a fame point and $1,000 if you deliver him. Okay, so I'm going to take the mission, and I'm going to assume then that I just have to take it to an NPC, the player to my left. So I'm going to take it to the kiln, which is sweet. And I am going to hand in 2 of my Explorer tokens. I have these 2, and I'm going to take a fame point for that. So I am now up to 5, and I need to now sift through this stuff. And I got a 16, which is beautiful. So I got a sifter token. All right, so I have everything I need. So now I'm going to take another action and put it on my engine and roll a d12. And I should have, oh, that's 2, 4, 5, 6. It is 7 points. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm back to the kiln. And I'm going to go to the mission location of the kiln and hand in the captain here. So I get, for doing that, I get, oh, I just looked it up. I know I get a fame point, and I think it's $1,000. So I'm going to get $1,000 and a fame point. So that puts me up to 6 now. And then we're going to sift. Okay, so we're going to take this and sift. And I can take a fame point or 2,002 cubes. Well, I'm taking the fame point. So we're going to take another fame point, and now we're up to 7. I still have 1 more potential action and a lot of energy. Here's my situation. I'm concerned about taking damage, because if I roll to do excavation and I fail in my roll, that damage is going to go on my ship, and I don't have an Enviro Shield. If I end my turn now, though, I run the risk of the NPCs winning. So I have to go. I have no choice. It's go big or go home. So I do have enough movement to get back. So I'm going to do that. And I'm back to there. And so now I'm going to go ahead and roll. And I rolled a 4. So that's bad. I'm taking 4 ice damage. So 1, 2, and I can put the other ones actually on my shield. 3 and 4, like so. And I'm going to try again. So I had a beautiful roll. I rolled a 19. So I do get... No, I don't have room for it. No! So I need to assign my damage differently. So I'm going to do... 1, 2, 3, and then 4 like that. Okay, there we go. I would not have attempted again if I didn't have room for this. And trust me, because with the ice spreading like it's going to do, I can't have it spread onto my sifter. So then I'm going to do my impulse, which is only a 2. My impulse is only a 2. So I am going to be limping home. And this is bad, because now I'm not at a planet, and the ice is going to spread. So it's going to go to here, and then here, and here. Now, one thing I know I've been forgetting to do, first of all, I'm moving the kiln again instead of my ship. The other thing I've been forgetting to do is every time I go to the kiln, I'm supposed to roll, and the kiln like moves around. So I've visited it at least 3 times now. So it's like that time it's actually closer. You see what I mean? So anyways, that was something I've been forgetting to do. Every time you land at the kiln, it moves. So that's my own fault, and it actually could be closer to me. And so I'm going to put that there. And I do have to end my turn, though. So we're going to start attacking the Scoundrel again. Scoundrel has a defense of 1. And there's 3 plus 5 is 8 damage to the Scoundrel. I'm going to count the ice crystal as a 5. So 5 and 3 1s. Okay, so Scoundrel has 8 out of his 15, and the NPCs do nothing. So now we just roll for the NPCs, and whatever they roll, if it's low, I rolled a 6, they're going to score 1 point. So it moves to here, and a new title comes out. And without making a purchase from the Smuggler's Den, have at least one of each of the 5 types of cargo cubes in your hold. That's going to be really hard for me to get. Now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. When the ice spreads, I think it takes over damage. I'm not sure. Let me check. Ice is a weird little animal. Oh, where are you, ice? Okay, ice does not spread into spaces that have regular damage. Okay, so the reason I'm asking this question is right here. I get, if I have at least half of my ship's hold filled with ice, I get a fame point. I have a hold of 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So half of my hold is filled with ice. So I'm going to score a fame point. Okay, so all I have is my, I do have to take environmental damage here, and it's 2. Oh no. Okay, I think I'm fine. Because the 2 damage is going to come like this. I'm going to damage my shield, and I'm going to jettison that cargo, which is going to add +2 to the NPC roll. But I saved my sifter, and then I'm going to use my impulse and just go to the kiln. And so I'm going to go to the kiln and land on the mission spot, which will potentially get me mission. I am going to end my action phase and heal all 7 ice damage. And then, of course, I get to arm everything again. So all my ice is gone, and I actually get the cold as ice. ability, which gives me a fame point. So I'm up to 8. And then, but before I ended my turn, I would have sifted, and I'm going to get the fame point for that. So I'm actually up to 9. I'm tied with the NPC. Oh, I need one more fame point. Oh, I am 1 away from winning this. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to spend 1,000 during the business phase to heal all my damage. And then I'm going to sell my GTS for 1,000 and my Enviromax for 1,000. And I'm going to get 2,000. And then I'm going to spend $5,000 to get a fame point. I can do that once per turn, once per round. And so I'm going to get my fame point, and ta-da! I just scored 10 points to his 9. Now, my other plan was his defense was 1. That's 4 damage, and that's 5 more for 9. 9 plus 8 is 17. I would have destroyed the scoundrel, and I would have gotten another fame point from that by the end of the turn. Does the game end immediately as soon as I get to 10? That's the next question. Let me check. If I would have finished the turn, I would have gone up to 11. Oh, where does it say win the game? I know this is in the base rule book, but where's the win the game part? Does he have it like in the beginning of the rule book? Victory. When a player's marker on the fame point reaches the victory token, the game is over and the player is declared the victor. Winning player receives eternal glory. Okay, so we just won. And unfortunately, we won by only 1 point. So here's what's going to happen. So this card was Meteor Shower. This game was a lot closer. All right, so I failed the last one. We did win. So I'm even going to put a square around it. We got 1 of our 10 wins. And we only scored 1 point, though. So we're at minus 5 points still. And I do get to pick another campaign bonus, but this Meteor Shower is now 1/10 of the way towards us finishing this game properly. So my thoughts are, is I still want to get, the 2,000 starting credits. So I'm thinking of getting this plus 1,000 when sell, but it's really funny because neither of these have really benefited me at all. The thing that has benefited me was the engine use, and getting a plus 3 and a plus 5 does seem awesome. Getting the plus 1 to all of our weapons seems neat. Even the plus 3 impulse right now seems neat. The ability to heal or gain an energy seems... There's a lot of stuff here that I think I would like. But I'm going to go with the... I'm gunning for the 2,000 starting credits. I really think that that is going to help us immensely. So I'm going to take the plus 1,000 when sell. When sell, and this is once per turn. And that's going to be our next bonus. And then whether we win or lose, we're going to get the plus 2,000 starting credits next time. So we got a victory. Why? Why did we get a victory? Well, first of all, it was still luck. I was very close to losing this game. The fact that I got blown up hurt badly. 2 reasons we won. The merchant never came out, and the sellsword. The sellsword helped us immensely. So I think one of the ways you can actually make this game easier for you is if you make sure the Smuggler's Den is in that top 7 tiles as well. So it's in the top 8 tiles, if you will. So make sure the Smuggler's Den is in there. You could make this game a little bit more interesting if you're finding that this is too hard. This is a hard game. That environmental damage I had mitigated so well, but I found myself in situations where it still hurt me. And in fact, it's what destroyed me, right? And made me lose a whole turn. I'm not sure I necessarily needed the upgraded shield. I think that was maybe overkill. The upgraded engine, however, was fantastic. That was worth getting. This Enviro shield is awesome. These GTSs are awesome. No arguments there. If I ever start with 2,000 more cash, it's going to be to buy those kind of things. I do think that this might have been the kind of game where I should have bought cargo and armor holds, right? Those things that have the extra 3, these things right here. I should have bought one of those so I can put damage on the armor plating. It's another 1,000, and at some point I needed to just spend 5,000 to win, right? And that's what I ended up doing. Yes, I did sell the components on my ship to get a victory point at the end. Keep that in mind as a tactic. You don't need components on your ship when you win. So the fact that I had all these Gucci things, this is a 3,000 component. I could have sold this for 2,000 and gotten myself enough money. Even if I had zero money, there was $5,000 worth of components here that I can manufacture a fame point at the end to win. Now, the sellsword was going to get me another one, and that's fantastic. So far, feedback-wise, this expansion has added a lot of these weird type of tiles. I know these are base game ones, but like this little gravity thing was annoying. And what do I do when I'm towing a ship in a gravity area? What do I do when I have movement points that put me to here? Do I just roll and then do that one? There's a lot of weird questions like that I think aren't fully addressed. The thing that I think is the most, I don't know, it's really cool at first, but then it's like, it doesn't do anything to the game, are those comets. Those ice comets over there. They move around and stuff, but they don't really do anything. I think what they do is they just basically give you a sector where nothing happens. And more importantly, it's sectors that you can put as a buffer so the merchant has to travel further. That's actually how I view this game now, is I want the planets to be as far apart as possible so the merchant has to travel super duper far and go through those asteroid fields and ice fields to get to his destination. I'm very pleased. If we would have lost again, I would have called it, I think. And as you saw, we only won with 1 victory point, so it's not like I can, crown myself here. And then I'm also nervous because, first of all, it was genius to come up with Swamp Rat. I am patting myself on the back off camera. You just can't see it. It was genius to pick a mission where all you had to do was get to 10 victory points and you win. In fact, I recommend from here on out that be your first mission, period. I really, really do. I think you can do it. If you pick Swamp Rat and that mission, all you have to do is focus on fame points and win. With Swamp Rat, you can, get a shield and then eventually an environmental shield, and you can handle those damage points that the environment's causing to you. And in fact, you can turn those damage points into bonus engine points and stuff. So it's not always a bad thing. So it's a wonderful combo for that particular mission. And like I said, you automatically satisfy the mission because it's just an annoying thing that's happening to you. And then you win. So there's one here where you have to die 4 times. And I'm not even sure how to do that one. I think if you can get Zaya out right away, maybe you can pull that off, but it's hard to do. Your ship must be destroyed at least 4 times this game. How on the world? And then you got to get 10 victory points somehow. I honestly don't know. It does say once per game when your ship would be destroyed, it's not destroyed. Instead, it goes on a random spawn point and you heal all damage if it was your turn, you lose any excess movement from the current action, and you get to keep going. It's a wonderful item, but you have to come up with a crafty way to die where you're in control of how you die, right? And it would take you 4 turns to die. So this is one of those ones where you want to capitalize on when no NPCs are on the map. And then you're going into like these asteroid fields and then just taking the damage and not blocking it and dying. Now, there is a star here, and I don't think you can fly into Nier because see how that has that red border? Actually, that might be the brilliant thing. Let me look at Zaya here. Oh, that's it. If you move into Zaya, you die because you can blind jump in. So all you have to do is you spend 4 turns flying into Nier and dying. That's what you have to do. So basically, you're going to give yourself a 4-turn penalty. You'd have to fly into Nier 4 turns and die, and then you have to somehow get 10 points before the AI does. So you're going to be at a 4-turn disadvantage, and then you get fame points to somehow win, and there you go. Pretty interesting. Remember, when you die, the only thing you lose is your active mission. So you get to keep your money and stuff like that. It's not a... I mean, the penalty here is 4 turns. And if you can do it while the AI is not on the board, you can basically spend those 4 turns, you know, where 1 tile at a time is getting revealed, and just take your chances, right? It's a pretty neat idea. We may actually do that one next. It's very suicidal, of course. And one thing I forgot to point out, now that we won, we get this bonus for the rest of the campaign. Once per game, when taking damage, I can block all of that damage without even using a shield, and if that damage would otherwise be unblockable. It doesn't negate the effects like flying into the sun. There you have it, folks. Thanks for watching. Stay awesome. And I don't think I have enough time to do another one tonight, and I really do. Because I won, I'm finally having fun. That's the thing with dice rolling games. You live and die, and boy oh boy, was this close. I know I screwed up moving this thing, and because this was here and not there, my impulse saved me, because I only had an impulse drive of 2. I'm fully aware of that, folks, that I could have lost if this thing was somewhere down here and not up here. And that's my own fault for not moving this when I was supposed to. So please forgive me there. And I hope you'll minimize how upset you are with the asterisk next to that win. Because I'm well aware that this location was suspect because I was forgetting to move it. And the fact that he was here helped me. So thank you for everything, and stay awesome.